Oh, hey there. My name's Cal. This is Mick, and you're
Hey.
watching The Link.
Welcome back to all our fellow linkers, and welcome to The Link if this is your first time.
It's so good to see you. What we're doing at the moment is we actually have brought in our prayer journals, and we are writing in there. What's a prayer journal? Great question. What is a prayer journal, Mick?
A prayer journal is a book like this, a notebook, and you can write down your prayers to God. I find it really helps me kind of work through things I'm struggling with and really focus when I'm talking to God.
Have you ever written a letter before? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I talk to my friends. Don't know about you. I talk face to face, and usually when I pray to God, I talk to Him out loud as well. But prayer journals is another way of praying. Instead of talking to Him, I write my thoughts out. So that's what we're doing right now. We're taking a moment and we're writing out a prayer to God. If you like the sound of that idea, you can buy any book that you can find. It doesn't have to be expensive, just a cheap notebook. And if you don't want to buy one, you can even just use scraps of paper and keep them all together in a special spot. And then every time you have something on your mind, you can sit down and write a message to God. You could also draw Him a picture. It doesn't have to be written words. And you can get someone to help you if you want to. Now, prayer journals are also really cool because they're private between you and God. You can write things to Him and no one has to see them. But you can, of course, share them if you want to as well. So I'm going to keep writing in mine. I'm just going to finish off my prayer. And then we might have a look what we've written.
How are you
All
going
right.
over there, Cal?
Pretty good. I'm just signing mine off. There we go.
Perfect. Hey, Cal, do you mind sharing what you were praying about?
Yeah, sure thing. I wrote about a few different things. I thanked God so much for all the different blessings that I have in my life. And then I asked Him to be with us in this difficult time as lots of people are stressed out. And that's pretty much what I wrote in mine. Would you mind sharing yours?
For sure. Would you like me to read?
That would be
Mine?
lovely.
Cool.
How about we take this time and when Mick reads her prayer, we might bow our heads and fold our hands too.
Cool. All right, well, let's pray together and you can listen to what I was praying to God. Okay. Dear God, thank you for this day. I'm so happy that it is Sabbath. Please be with my friends and family and help them learn to love you too. Help me to love others like you love me and help us to have the best time at the Link because I love the Link a lot and I love hanging out with our fellow Linkers. Thank you, Jesus, for always loving us. In your holy name, amen.
Amen. Thanks for sharing with us what you wrote in your journal, Mick.
No
Remember,
worries.
if you start a prayer journal, you don't have to share it with anyone, but you can if you want to. Either way, we encourage you to give it a go. Find an old journal or buy a new one or just some old scrap paper, anything, and write God a letter or draw Him a picture. Yeah.
Cal,
Yeah.
why am I holding Easter eggs and why are we sitting in front of water bottles?
I don't know why you're holding Easter eggs, but great questions because it's time for a challenge.
A challenge! I love challenges here on the Link.
This is called the water bottle
Whack?
whack. The water bottle whack. The water whack.
The water whack.
The egg water whack challenge. So this madness is, what we need to do is, we have eggs. We're actually allowed one egg each, so pick your colour.
Can I have pink?
Sure can.
You want
We
yellow.
won't need those ones. And the reason we have an egg is because we have to try and see how many water bottles we can knock over with one throw.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
okay.
So we might actually need those other eggs. Have an orange one as well.
Okay.
Right, so you get two throws to try and get all the bottles down.
Okay.
You got that?
Yeah.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. Go!
One throw, baby. Come on, Cal.
That was two throws. You can help me out.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm out.
I've lost my eggs. They've bounced all the way over there.
I can't.
Yeah, we can use other water bottles.
Oh.
This game's rigged, Mick.
What's happening here,
Can you
Cal?
see why they're rigged? This is such a rigged game.
They're full of
These
water.
ones are
Mine was
full of water
empty.
I honestly didn't think it would make that much difference, though. Wouldn't you think that it would knock over?
Yeah.
I
didn't
guess
think it
so.
would
If you
actually
think
be.
about it, these are much heavier. Feel that heavy one, and then feel one of
That
these
is
ones.
quite heavy.
This one is quite a lot heavier than this empty one.
Definitely.
And I guess it's going to knock over easier, isn't it?
I guess these ones have a firmer foundation.
They do. A firm foundation. Where have I heard that before?
I don't know. Was it?
It was in the Bible.
Yes,
was in the Bible.
There's a story, a
The
parable.
firm foundation, yes. I reckon we look into that today. What do you
I
reckon?
reckon we do too.
I reckon that'll be pretty fun.
Well, stay tuned.
Speaking of
man.
firm foundations, Mick,
Firm foundations.
yeah, I've got some tricks to show you.
Tricks. I like tricks.
You might like these too. You can try these with your friends and family. So the first one is
Okay.
face me with your chair.
Okay.
Okay. And now I'm going to hold your forehead and you need to get up. See if you can stand up. Okay? Go, stand up. Okay, pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now, try the same thing, except put your arms over your shoulders like this, on your shoulders, your hands on your shoulders.
Okay.
That makes sense? Now try it again. You can't do it. I gave up pushing it at the end. You have a go. See if you can do it. I've got
So
another one for
weird.
you.
It's definitely much more difficult.
Got another one for you, Mick. Okay, Mick. So stand up.
Okay.
Stand about there.
Here.
Yep. And maybe move that beanbag behind you in case you fall over.
Oh.
All right,
Oh,
you
am I gonna fall over?
you might try this at home, but just be careful. So turn sideways, face everyone at home. Okay, now put your legs close together. You can't see her feet, but they're touching each other. And now I'm going to push you, see if you fall over, or you have to move a step. Okay, you ready?
Oh.
I didn't have to push very hard, and you fell over, right? Okay, try the same thing again. This time, stand with your legs really far apart. Great. Okay, I'm going to push you the same amount of force. It's so much harder to push someone over when their legs are spread apart. Interesting, because she's got a firm foundation. And now the last one, which is my favourite trick. Are you ready?
Okay.
All right. For this one, it might look unbelievable, but try it at home. You'll be surprised. So, Mick, for this, you need to stand next to the wall. So could you stand up next to the wall?
Okay.
Yeah, face the memory boat shelf. Yeah, put your shoulder on the wall. Good. Right, so now your shoulder has to be touching the wall, and your foot that's next to the wall needs to be touching right against the wall. Cool. Now, this is the thing. See if you can lift your outside leg. Not the one that's next to the wall, the other one. You can't do it. It's impossible. You try it at home and see if you can do it. Put your foot against the wall, your shoulder against the wall, and try and lift your outside foot. You won't be able to do it. That is because it's all got to do with the balance and the way your body is balanced so that you don't fall over all the time. You have a firm foundation. But let's find out more about these firm foundations. Wake up, Jeff. No. Wake up, Mick.
I just gotta get my head in the game. Wait.
Speaking of in the game,
Can
look
I
behind
see
you.
something behind me? The wheel is up there.
It's your
I'm
favourite
awake
thing.
now.
I'm glad. Give it a spin, Mick. Something just flew off the wheel or something.
But the wheel something says
What does it say?
Oreo challenge.
Oreo challenge. Ooh. Do we need Oreos?
Oreos.
that's them.
Good thing I had them in my hand.
All right. The aim of this challenge is to place an Oreo on your forehead without it falling off. So you're going to have to probably tilt your head backwards. Get the Oreo from your head to your mouth without using your hands.
Oh.
Let's
Alright.
give it a crack. Cue the music.
Cue the music. Thank you for joining us for Wheel of Something Oreo Challenge.
Linkers, look at my cool hat. This is my My Builder Cal hat.
That is a cool hat, Builder Cal.
Thank you very much. I'm wearing this. Why? Good question. Because we're doing some building right now.
Are we?
Now, we sure are. Mick, you've got your little Legos out there. I'm going to get my Legos out too. We're going to build some houses.
Houses? Ooh,
Bit of a challenge. We're going to build houses. See who has the best house.
Oh.
You reckon you're down for that?
I reckon. I love a
Alrighty.
good house build.
So, keep in mind, though, you want it to be a pretty sturdy house, yeah?
Okay.
All right, so what I'm going to actually do before I get to the house bit, I'm going to make the foundation for my house. And
Foundation for a Lego house?
I'm going to use concrete, real-life concrete. Do you reckon that's a wise thing to do?
I think that's a little bit silly. I think that's a bit, like, overkill.
Nah,
in my opinion.
It'll be good. So what I've got here is some concrete powder. And what builders do with this is they mix water into it, and it's got gravel and sand and all sorts of things in there, and you mix it up, and then it goes hard, you let it set, it goes rock solid, and it provides the perfect foundation.
Right. I think I'll skip that step because it seems a little bit silly to me.
You sure?
Yeah, of course, because you're building
Okay.
a concrete foundation for a Lego house, Cal. That's
but I
just
might need
so silly. I'm going to just go find some, I don't know, sand or something later if I really need one. But anyway,
Okay.
I'm just going to build my house.
All right, so we're going to fill this up with water. Be careful not to breathe in concrete dust because it will set in your lungs and that's not good. All right, fill it up with water and now I'm going to give it a bit of a stir.
I've got 2 pillars for my house. Perfect. And then I think I'll use these red bits as the roof.
So what are you building your house on, Mick?
I'm building it probably just, I don't know, can't I just sit it on the desk here?
No, because we're going to do some challenges with it.
Ah, all right. Well, then I'll just like put it on sand because sand is like pretty, like you can compact it down and make it quite sturdy when
Okay.
it's wet.
Alrighty, so my concrete foundation has set. We've got these tubs because we're going to experience a storm in a bit. So I'm going to quickly construct my house. And Mick, have you got a foundation for your house?
I do, right?
All right, you want to get it ready?
Here. My sand I talked about earlier.
Nice.
Just gonna squish it down. Perf. Look at that.
All right, got my house. Going to put him there on my concrete base. Oh, all right. Well, yours looks pretty nice, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, see? Perfect.
And mine's up there on its little hill. You know what it's time for now?
What?
The storm.
Well, I think my sand will be
Dun, dun,
perfect. Make sure
Here we go.
it doesn't
Okay,
crack.
we'll pour the rain on mine first. Are you ready?
Okay.
Let's see how we go. The rains came down and
The floods came up. Oh, look at that. It's still standing.
it's waterproof and the house is still standing.
Perfect.
All right, now come the rains on yours, Mickey. You ready?
All right. I'm sure mine will be just
Here
fine.
we go.
Oh.
The foundations are just
Maybe stop.
melting
Stop.
away.
Maybe.
The rains kept going.
Oh.
Which house would you like to live in? That one or this one?
Mine just has ocean views.
Yes, look. I don't think living in the ocean counts as ocean views.
Can you see the ocean?
Well, I think we've learnt a valuable lesson here. The importance of a foundation.
Foundation.
Look at my concrete one, which is still there compared with your sand one.
Oh, anyone want a sand soupy house? I've got a free one here.
Well, that's it from Builder Cal. I'll catch you around.
And Builder Mick will be out in the ocean somewhere. Cal, what's...
I see brown paper,
Yeah.
which tells me it's time for arts and crafts.
That's what's going on here. I was just about to say, what's happening?
It is always time for arts and crafts, but we've
Always.
got the craft basket out, And, we have some rocks here.
So we do.
What on earth are we doing with these?
I've literally no idea, Cal. Not a clue.
Let me tell you. So, rocks, you find them everywhere. In the garden, on the side of the road.
At the
Who
beach.
knows where? There are rocks everywhere. You can actually use rocks for something. And they are called paperweights. Now, a paperweight is exactly that. It's a weight for papers. So some people have really fancy, decadent glass paperweights on their office desk at work, and they just sit them on their paper so that if the window opens, their papers don't blow away. So we're going to transform these boring old, everyday, ordinary rocks into some fantabulous paperweights. And the reason we're doing that, Mick, is because, well, we've been talking all about rocks today, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
Well, we haven't, but at the end of the story, the parable that Jesus tells, he says, build your life upon the rock. And he's talking about the firm foundation that we need to have in our lives, and that's building our lives on God. So that's what this will remind us of when we paint them.
To build our lives on God.
Yeah, so have you got any ideas for your paperweight rock? What are you going to turn yours into? The possibilities are endless.
Yeah, I could turn it into anything. I might make a funny little character out of it.
Oh, that looks cool. That would be
and
cool,
hands.
a rocky pet. I'm
Yeah.
going to actually paint a scene on mine because there's a nice flat surface on my rock. So I might paint the story, actually.
Cool.
The house on the rock. So let's get into it.
Nice.
So we've got some paint, some pens, there's some little foam bits. You could use anything you find around the house. Some foil, wrapping a rock in foil looks pretty cool. I'm going to start by painting a base coat on mine. So remember, before you start painting, make sure your area is well protected. Now, I'm pouring the paint straight onto the table, onto this here, but I've got paper down. So make sure you check with your parents before you go painting the house.
Definitely before you go painting the house.
You could use paintbrushes, but today I'm going to start by using a sponge. I'm going to dab the paint on.
Can
Does
I
that sound
use
good?
sponge too?
Oh, yeah, you sure can. There's another one there.
Thanks, Cal.
All right, here we go to dab, dab, dab.
Wow, this sponge is really good at
That
getting into
actually
all the
looks a
grooves.
lot better than I was expecting.
Yeah,
That's
that
really
looks
cool.
so good. Wow, I definitely recommend painting your rock
There's
with a
some dark
sponge.
purple there too, if you want.
Thanks, Cal.
All right, I'm going to start with a white background. Yeah, sponges are really great for getting into all the cracks and grooves. But again, a paintbrush works just as fine too. Also, make sure that you roll your sleeves up so they don't get paint and glue in them. If your mum or dad has a hot glue gun at home too, they would be really good for gluing on anything you want to add to your special rock. But you could also use craft glue as well. It's up to you. Or you could even just blue tack your things on too.
Wow, I really like the look of that. How good
That
is that
looks
turning
great.
out?
All right, I've got the base of mine done. Now I'm going to start painting the details. All right, on this side of the rock, I'm going to paint the house on the firm foundation. And then on the other side, I'm going to do the house that was built on the sand that fell over. All right, I'm painting. I'll turn it around so you can see. A snazzy red house on a solid rock foundation. The rains came down and the floods came up. The rains came down and the floods came up. Now time for our house, which unfortunately is not in one piece anymore.
Oh no.
Rain, rain, rain.
Go away, come again another day. Do you know that rhyme, Cal?
I sure do. I reckon the foolish man was singing that when his house was falling down.
I think so too. I think I'm almost done.
Are you almost done? I haven't seen yours yet. Wow, that is so cool.
So he's got a big nose.
That's awesome.
A nice red mouth, some eyes, and a funny little hairdo.
Wow, good job, Mick. And I'm just about done too. I'm just going to put some gold on the top of my rock so that it looks pretty fancy on my desk.
Wow, that looks really cool, Cal.
Thanks. So here, it's still a bit wet, but here on this side we've got the house on the solid foundation and the rain coming down, and it's fine. And then on the other side, we have A house all broken in pieces on the sand, didn't have a firm foundation. So when the rain came, it went splat. And I can sit this on my desk at home, and that will remind me of the story, and it will remind me to keep trusting in Jesus and to make him my foundation of my life.
That is so cool. What a good reminder.
Yours also reminds us of that too, doesn't it? Because it's still made of a rock. And every time you see that rock, you remember, I need to build my life on Jesus, who is our rock. How cool is that?
If you guys make a rock pet, or maybe you'll make the story on the rock like Cal did, make sure you send us a picture to collegechurch@avondale.edu.au.
We would love to see what you do when you get creative with rocks. What an episode it has been, Mick. We have had so much fun
We
doing
really
so
have.
many things.
I think I still have Oreo crumbs in my eyes from the wheel of something.
Oh, man. Well, we have been learning all about the parable that Jesus told his followers about the foolish builder and the wise builder. I got a bit tongue-tied there. The foolish builder and the wise builder. And I'm actually found it in the Bible. Should we read it?
I think we should. Where's it found?
It's actually in a few places in the Bible.
Oh.
It's said by a few different people, but
Yeah.
this one is in Matthew chapter 7 and verse 24. So if you have your Bible, you should follow along too.
Cool.
Matthew chapter 7 verse 24, and it says, anyone who listens to my teaching, this is Jesus speaking, anyone who listens to my teaching and follows it is wise, like a person who builds a house on solid rock. Though the rains come in torrents and floodwaters rise and the winds beat against the house, it won't collapse because it has built on the bedrock. But anyone who hears my teaching and doesn't obey it is foolish, like a man who builds a house on sand. When the rains and floods come and the winds beat against that house, what happens? It will collapse with a mighty crash.
Oh.
When Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowds were amazed at his teachings, for he taught with real authority. There you have it. That is
There you
Jesus'
go.
parable about the foolish builder who built his house on the sand and the wise builder who built his house on the rock. You know why it's such a special parable for me, Mick?
I'm not sure. Why?
It's because it reminds me that I need to build my life on Jesus as the rock.
Yeah,
I need to
so
listen
true.
and obey the things that he tells me to do in his Bible. And by doing that, my life will be on the right track and will not fall over like the house that was built on the sand.
Ah, wow. What a cool story. I feel like we've learned so much from that story today.
We sure have. But guess what?
What?
That time where I pull my watch out, it is
Ah,
time
you
to
put your watch away,
go.
Cal.
It's still time to go, even if my
Alright.
watch is away. We're so glad that you joined us today on The Link. If you loved the program, we can't wait to see you next time. Send us an email, tell us what you've been up to, send us a picture, and we will catch you next time.
Bye, Linkers. I hope you have a great week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.